Good Yom Tov. Today is Yutas Kislev. It's Friday, Yutas Kislev, Tovshin Ayin Daled, and we are appropriately in the Mamar Podoh Besholom Tovshin Yud Beis. That's Yutas Kislev and Teres Menachem. Sefer Mamar Tovshin Yud Aleph Tovshin Yud Beis. We're up to page Kuf Pei, right at the top. The Rebbe is discussing here the idea of Podoh Besholom.
As they say, from the top.
From the top. Take it from the top.
Yeah, 1, 2.
So, the Rebbe is discussing over here the idea of Podoh Besholom, which is the idea of Avodas HaBirurim, man's service of Hashem, serving Hashem through the process of refinement, and that is done in the pasuk Podoh Besholom. The indication is that it's done peacefully. So the Rebbe explained how that refers to Torah, that although Torah itself is peace, there is a part of Torah which is peace within peace, so to speak, which is Pnimius HaTorah, the inner dimension of Torah, the Chassidus. And then the Rebbe went on to explain also the idea of Gemilas Chasodim, acts of kindness, which is also the inyan of Shalom, of peace. Why? Because the Rebbe explained that there are differences between tzedakah and Gemilas Chasodim. Gemara says that tzedakah is for the poor, to give to the poor, and acts of kindness is both to the poor and to the rich. And the Rebbe explained it Beruchnius in the spiritual, celestial dimension, that we're talking about the Anim and the Ashirim is a reference to Tzimtzum, the first contraction, and what we draw down into the first contraction, the Tzimtzum Rishon, in the void. So we could draw down, as we do, the Eira Kav, God's Eira and Sof. But the Rebbe said that was there before. You're just drawing it back down into the void. Then but that's not Ashiris. You're providing the needs, so to speak. They machsere, but it's not wealth. Wealth, Ashiris, is what? When you draw down from Atzmas, from the very essence of Hashem. Now the Rebbe carries on to explain the difference between tzedakah and Gemilas Chasodim. Ois Zayin. Yesh Lahaisif, we can add Bebir Achiluk Ben Tzedakah Laniyim Gemilas Chasodim Shigam LaAshirim, in explaining the difference between charity, which is for the poor, to give to the poor, and acts of kindness, which is also for the rich, to give to the rich, to provide for the rich. Al Pi HaMevur, according to that which is explained, Be'inyan HaTfilah, concerning davening, concerning prayer. Sheyesh Beis Minei Tfilah. There is a reference to two types of davening. Tfilah Sa'ani, the prayer of the poor, Shezehu Tfilah LeDavid, which is the prayer of David. Moshe Kosovet says in the pasuk, Tfilah La'ani, a prayer for the poor. Or Tfilah Sa'ashir, then there's the prayer for the rich, or rather of the rich. Tfilah Sa'ani means the prayer of the poor. And then Tfilah Sa'ashir, the prayer of the rich. Shezehu Inyan Tfilah LaMoshe, which is the idea of the prayer of Moshe. The Rebbe says over here that Tfilah David is Tfilah Ani, that David's prayer is the prayer of the poor. The Rebbe brings the pasuk Tfilah La'ani. I believe that's chapter 102, but there's also the Tfilah David that we say every day in davening after Asher V'Aletzion. Besides the days we don't say Tachnun like today, so it says Tfilah David Atei Hashem Oznacha Aneni Ki Ani Ve'Evyen Ani. David prays and he says, "Please listen to me, Hashem. Why? Because I'm poor. I'm poor and impoverished." So there's a clear reference in that pasuk to what? To David praying. And the Medrash actually says that David Melech saw that Hashem listens to the prayer of the poor, so therefore he put himself in that mode in order to be able to have the quality of that type of davening. So the kids said the bottom line is that there's a Tfilas Ani, the prayer of the poor, and then there's Tfilas Asher. Moshe Rabbeinu was an Asher, was wealthy. So Tfilah L'Moshe is a prayer for the prayer of the rich.
Does Ani mean in financial terms?
Oh, very good. So over here, the Rebbe, something lacking. But of course, there's obviously, it could be in financial terms, but there's also the Nishtal Shalom Ahem, in its original state, we're talking about being impoverished, the Beruchnius. So the Rebbe refers to here. The Rebbe's going to explain it a little bit. The Rebbe says like this, Hinei, Tfilah Sa'ani, the prayer of the poor is for what? It's straightforward. The poor man is missing something, he needs, he's lacking something, so he davens. He asks Hashem to fill what he's missing. However, when we talk about the davening of the rich man, you came just in the right time, Jeremy. Ein ne'al milech esreine. The rich man doesn't daven for anything that he's lacking. Why? Sharei asher pirushe shelechas alem u'ma. The true meaning of a rich man is that he's missing absolutely nothing. He's not lacking anything at all. Why? And the Rebbe explains here like this. Because if there's one detail missing by him, if he's lacking something, even a detail, then he is poor so far as this detail is concerned. He's missing something. That's if he's missing something. What about if he's missing something at a certain time? Says the Rebbe, so too we cannot say that he's missing something temporarily. Why? Because if that's the case, then at that moment he's poor, so far as what he's missing is concerned. This is actually based on this expression that at that moment he's poor is an expression from a Mishnah.
He's poor because he's got everything.
But but he's missing something.
Because he's poor, because really he thinks he's got everything.
Okay,
So,
that's another.
Is that what you're saying? He's poor?
No, it means to say that so far as this particular aspect is concerned, he's poor. What the Rebbe is trying to say is that basically, true wealth, when you say Oshir, it means he's missing absolutely nothing. In fact, there's other Mamar from the Rebbe, it's Tfilah L'Moshe.
Isn't that, in a certain sense, isn't that a derogatory expression for Hasidus? Because he feels he doesn't need Hashem for anything. Because he feels he's missing
Well,
nothing. That's what I'm trying to
it's an
explain.
attitude.
I mean, his attitude is of I don't need anything. It means he doesn't need Hashem. He's poor.
No, we're not talking now here about the attitude. We're looking objectively at this individual. Moshe Rabbeinu, let's use spiritual terms. The Ruchnistic dimension of it, it's maybe a little easier to understand in this instance. Moshe Rabbeinu lacked nothing, meaning to say, the Rebbe explains in another Maimon that Dei Machsere Asher Yechsev Lei. Remember the pasuk that we quoted in yesterday's Shiur. Dei Machsere is Memalach Kalamin. Asher Yechsev Lei is Seviv Kalamin. So somebody that you need to provide for the Oni, the Giluyim, the revelations of Memalach Kalamin, and the revelations of Seviv Kalamin. But that's not wealth. Wealth means that he has Gilui Ha'atzmus. Moshe, and when you have Atzmus, you have everything basically. Moshe Rabbeinu was in the state where he had Gilui Ha'atzmus. Right? So that's the word. You're looking at it in an objective way.
Spiritual wealth.
Correct.
But
So-
he still had to daven because they
Wait. The Rebbe will explain now. If that's the case, how does tefillah come in? That's exactly the point.
Okay.
Because he's not missing anything. So this vort that he says over here, that at least at that moment he's a poor man if he's missing something momentarily. That there's actually a Mishnah in Peah which says that a balabayis that travels from place to place, someone who has what he needs but he's traveling, and he doesn't have what to sustain himself with, and he has to take leket shikha peah and ma'aser ani. Those were the different tithings that were given or left for the poor. So he's traveling and he needs to sustain himself. So he collects leket shikha peah and ma'aser ani. What happens when he comes home? So the Mishnah says he should take, and when he comes home, he should pay back. He should give it back. That's the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer. The Chachamim say no, he doesn't have to pay back. Why? Ani hoya ba'isr shah. At that moment, he was poor, so therefore he takes it and he can keep it. So over here also, so what do we see? That if somebody has everything, but he's missing something temporarily, certainly according to the Das Chachamim, which is likely to be the halacha, he doesn't have to, he's considered a poor man. Halachically. Right? Why? Because for that moment he's missing it. He's lacking it. If that's the case, tfilasai, the davening of an individual like this, ain't a tfilas ha'ashir, is not the true davening prayer of a rich man. Why? Because the reason for his davening, for his prayer, is because at that moment he is poor. And what is he asking for? He's asking that which he is lacking should be filled. So therefore, what did Moshe Rabbeinu daven for? If Moshe Rabbeinu is the ultimate rich man, what did he daven for? This is why we find that the Medrash says Allah posik tefillah l'Moshe on this verse in Tehillim in Kapitel Tzadik, I believe it is. Tefillah l'Moshe, the prayer for Moshe, that there were three that prayed. The Mishnah says, the Medrash says that David prayed. There were three people that prayed. So tefillah l'Moshe, what did Moshe pray for? Amar le'Kadosh Baruch Hu l'Moshe, ma'ata mevakesh. When Moshe Rabbeinu started praying, he came before the Eibishter. The Eibishter said, "What are you asking for?" The kiv and shegam b'shas tefillah ashiru, because since at the time when he was praying he was also wealthy. Why? Because he was lacking nothing. So Hashem asks him, What are you asking for in your prayer? Omar, Moshe said, Eini mevakish b'shvili. I'm not asking for myself. Ella, Medina ploini sicharev v'shalcha. There is a certain country of yours, which is desolate, which is destroyed, and it is yours. And there's a little number here, 67. If you take a look at the bottom, it says that from this point on, the Rebbe spoke with a choked up voice, with tears, crying. You have a certain country which is desolate and destroyed, and it's yours. Gzeir shetibon, decree that it should be rebuilt. Kach, so too, this is the message over there says it's a parable for someone who comes to the king, and the king asks him, "What are you asking for?" He says, "I'm not asking for anything. I'm just saying you have a certain country that's destroyed. Please decree that it should be rebuilt." Kach, what's the nimshal? What's the what is it a reference to? Kach Moshe the bikish l'atzmei. So too, Moshe Rabbeinu didn't ask for himself. Ela b'shvil Yisrael. He asked for the Yidden. This is also generally the conduct of all leaders of the Jewish people. For although they, on their own, from their own perspective, from where they are, for themselves, they're not lacking anything. They don't ask for themselves, but rather they ask for the Jewish people. Maybe Yaakov, for example, by Yaakov Avinu, Yaakov on his own was ready for the coming of Mashiach. When he came to, this is a reference to his meeting with Esav. Esav represented the Oiris of Tohu, the divine lights of the divine energies from the world of chaos, right? And what happens when Mashiach comes? The whole lead up to Mashiach and the coming of Mashiach is the lifting and the refinement of these divine lights of these divine energies of Tohu that fell into Klippa, right? So the meeting between Yaakov and Esav was the meeting between Tohu and Tikkun, as it were, right? So far as Yaakov was concerned, he was already prepared for Mashiach's coming, because that was the meaning of the pasuk when he said, Esav says to Yaakov, "Nisav v'nelecha, let's go." He invited him to come back with him, to come home with him. So Yaakov said to him, "I can't go." Why? Because Hayelodim rakim, the children are tender, v'atzayim v'abokar olis eloi, and the cattle and the sheep and the cattle depend on me. Right, because they were raising young calves and so on and so forth, young sheep. So therefore, if I rush them, they might all die. So you go ahead, I'll go slowly. You go ahead, until I will come to my master to Seir, where you live. What was that a reference to? So one of the interpretations Rashi says, I will come. When will I come? When Mashiach comes, as we say, right? That when Mashiach will come, there will be lishbet as har Esav. What's har Esav? That's Seir. But what's the deeper meaning? This is the idea of the interaction between Yaakov and Esav in terms of Avedas Abirurim. So far as Yaakov himself was concerned, he was ready to go straight away. The reason why he didn't go was because of the young children and the cattle and the sheep. What does that mean, Beruchnias? So Yaakov was ready, from his perspective, ready to go to Mashiach. But the children are tender. And the sheep and the cattle depend on me. The only reason why he wasn't prepared to go yet was because of the kleine shefelach, the young sheep, etc. If we will rush them with this serving Hashem, imbuing them with this idea of Havaya Echad U'Shmei Echad. Hashem is one and His name is one. So if we rush them with the Avodah, if we rush them with that service, U'Defokum Yom Echad, this Yom Echad might catch up with them, U'Meisu Kol Hatzayin, and all the sheep might die. What does it mean, this Yom Echad? I think this may be what it means, that if we rush them with the Avodah of Havaya Echad, then this Yom Echad might actually work the other way around. They might not be able to handle it. What does that mean? They will die. Yes, we will imbue them with this tremendous Gilei Elokus, revelation of godliness, but it'll cause them to expire. In other words, they will expire, and they will not be able to handle it, and they will not be able to handle to perform the service of Hashem in a manner of ebb and flow, expiring and returning, which is the ultimate purpose of what? Of creation. That yes, we should have this tremendous tzimoin to godliness, thirst to godliness, but the end. What's the tachlis? What's the ultimate purpose? To draw that back down and to infuse that into our guf and nefesh habamis, in our part of the world which is designated for our shlichus in this world. And since the sheep, etc., depend on me, meaning to say that there's work to be done, that Yaakov Avinu needs to infuse and work with his environment, with his surrounding, not so far as he's concerned. Yaakov Avinu, so far as he's concerned, is ready to go to Mashiach. But because the sheep depend on him, Nishar Gam Yaakov Begolus, Yaakov remains in exile. Although he on his own is not lacking anything. So too concerning Moshe, so far as he was concerned on his own, he was wealthy. What does that mean? He was lacking nothing. As Hashem himself testifies concerning him, when he asked him, what are you asking for? What does that mean? What's the meaning of that question? You're not lacking anything. What are you praying for? And on this, Moshe Rabbeinu answers, I am not asking for myself. But rather, this in this country is destroyed, is desolate. What are we talking? Which country is Moshe Rabbeinu referring to? He's talking about the world of chaos. From where the nitzutzis fall, those divine fragments of godly energy, where they fall into klipa, right? Kemaim and Azal, as our sages teach us in Medrash, God constructed worlds and he destroyed them. What is that a reference to? It's a reference to Olam HaTorah, the world of chaos. V'hi shalcha, Moshe Rabbeinu says this country or this Olam, this realm is yours. As our sages learn on the pasuk Asher Hari Oisi, there's a Gemara in Sukkah which says as follows. It says like this. I believe this is a pasuk in Micha, and it says as follows. Try to find it here. Here we go. Gemara says like this. Rav Huna bar Abba stated, it was said at the schoolhouse, there are 4 things of which the Holy One, blessed be He, repents that He had created them. And they are the following: exile, the Chaldeans, the Ishmaelites, and the evil inclination. The exile, since it is written, now therefore, what do I hear, saith Hashem, seeing that my people is taken away for naught. So in other words, Hashem regrets having created exile. The Chaldeans, since it is written, behold, the land of the Chaldeans, this is the people that was not, again a reference to Hashem regretting. The Ishmaelites, since it's written, the tents of the robbers prosper, and they that provoke Hashem are secure, since Hashem brought them with his hand. Again, this is like a lament. And then the evil inclination, as it is written, and I will gather her that is driven away, and her that I have afflicted. Asher Hari Oisi. Who's the reference to her? It's a reference to the Yetzer Hara. Then there's another piece. Rabbi Yechanan remarks that if not to the following psukim, we wouldn't be able to utter it, or we would have sunk. And again, he quotes this Hari Oisi, meaning to say that Hashem regrets having created the Yetzer Hara and the evil inclination and all these. Where does that come from? That phenomena comes from the Eidos of Toyu, right? So what does it mean? That's the reference. He shalcha. You created it. You made it. And the Gemara says over here, Hashem regrets having brought this phenomena into existence, right? So Moshe Rabbeinu says to the Rebbeinu Shalom, you created Elam HaToyu, you made this phenomena of the Nitzutzos falling into Klippa, and it's concerning this, Moshe Rabbeinu demands of Hashem, decreed that it should be rebuilt. The choice of words is here, gzeir, decree. What does that mean? What's a decree? Even if we're talking about something that cannot be, according to intellect, according to seichel, it cannot be. So what? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu should make it, should perform it in a manner of gzeira, of decree. Decree that it should be built. And if one is demanding from Hashem that He should do something by way of decree, which means even if it's not according to intellect, according to Tam Vadas, according to reason, beyond reason, right? We want Hashem to do something which is beyond reason. What is the channel? What is the vessel? And what is the awakening from below? To draw this down, in other words, what mode does the person need to be in order to draw down something which is beyond reason? The person also has to be in a mode of beyond reason. Meaning to say, going back to Moshe Rabbeinu, that although he is wealthy, and also in the spirit, of course, in the spiritual sense, he himself is already whole in all matters. Nevertheless, he sets himself into a situation of danger. He insists, and he sets himself completely aside. And he demands, but in the manner of a free gift. What is the demand? That there are the sheep that depend on me. And there's a certain country which is destroyed and desolate. And therefore he asks Hashem, beyond reason, that what? That it should be rebuilt.